friends, 6 a.m. on this Friday morning. Thanks for joining us on Up with KREM. I'm Channing Curtis.
And I'm Tim Pham. Gosh, it is the last day of summer, friends.
It is.
We are heading into fall and later tonight, so you still really have most of the day.
Yeah.
Meteorologist Thomas Patrick joining us now. So Thomas, how are we ending this summer season?
Yeah, I guess you could call this the last summer day because the equinox doesn't occur until just before midnight tonight. But today we will see one more chance for some rain showers before we get a very pleasant weekend ahead of us. This is all part of the same system that has given us rain the last couple days. In part, looks like North Idaho has the better chances for today as you see the decently heavy rain moving through Missoula and Superior, Montana, right along the I-90 corridor. And at the moment, as it marches westward, just got into Wallace and is approaching the Kellogg area. So it's all over Shoshone County at the moment. The only question that's going to be is how far west can this go? And I think Spokane is probably right on the edge of that farthest westernmost extent. So we'll be keeping an eye on Doppler radar all morning long for you, but at the moment, looks like it's Wallace and eastward as of the 6 a.m. hour.
More than a month after two deadly wildfires tore through Spokane County, the road to recovery is now proving to be a long and bumpy one.
So that is especially the case when it comes to paying for the damage, but getting federal money from FEMA might not happen. KREM 2's Cody Proctor breaks down where we stand this morning.
The reason we might not get FEMA funding for the fires is because of the type of help FEMA gives. One is for public assistance and the other is individual assistance. But the difference between them is what makes the difference.
It only took seconds for the Oregon Road and Gray fires to burn down homes, but getting them fixed will take longer than that. Governor Jay Inslee already set aside $1.25 million in emergency funds, which will go towards asbestos testing. But getting help from FEMA remains a question mark. According to Stacy McLean with Washington Emergency Management, who spoke to Spokane County commissioners on Tuesday, the Spokane County fires don't meet the state threshold to get public assistance funding from FEMA, which is about $13 million.
Fortunately and unfortunately, there's not enough damage to meet our state threshold.
According to Medical Lake Mayor Terry Cooper, that's not surprising since the fires mostly left public infrastructure untouched.
City Hall standing, school standing, didn't lose one business, library standing, all the churches are standing. So we're positioned well to help. But the devastation came to personal, individual properties.
The next option to look at to get FEMA funding is individual assistance. But McLean says that depends on how many homes don't have insurance. As of Tuesday's meeting with commissioners, about 40 homes were found to not have insurance. But there are about 200 homes they don't have insurance data on.
The numbers that we have right now, if we were to submit today with only 40 homes, we would not get approved.
But according to Mayor Cooper, she says the thought process to turn to FEMA first needs to change.
But when we go to big government first, it takes the longest. The process is complicated. It's not straightforward.
Right now, local officials have until October 21st to submit the individual disaster declaration.
Now, county commissioners also found out on Tuesday that an application's been made to the Department of Commerce to try to get $2.5 million through the Rapid Response Program, specifically for debris management. In the studio, Cody Proctor, KREM 2 News.
A similar situation actually happened with victims of the Babb Road fire that destroyed most of the buildings in Malden and Pine City in 2020. FEMA approved public assistance for these communities to help rebuild roads and government buildings, but individual assistance to help families rebuild their homes was denied. FEMA did explain that it won't grant individual assistance if the state has the resources to help residents recover.
Brand new for you this morning, the Biden administration announced a major agreement with 3 local tribes to support tribal-led efforts to restore salmon populations in the upper Columbia River Basin. So the agreement is between the federal government and the Confederated Tribes of the Colville Reservation, the Coeur d'Alene Tribe, and the Spokane Tribe of Indians. It includes $200 million over the next 20 years from the Bonneville Power Administration to implement tribal plans and another $8 million over 2 years from the Bureau of Land Management. The goal is to test the ability and ultimately reintroduce salmon back into blocked habitats in the upper basin of the Columbia River.
Bringing salmon back is going to take a lot of work by a lot of people. The tribes have already have that underway. They've mapped out the next 20 years through their Phase 2 implementation plan, where we research individual fish behavior, their survival as they migrate out from the system and they migrate back.
The Spokane tribe says if things go according to plan, salmon could return to the Upper Columbia in just 20 years. Salmon historically thrived in the basin, but their migration has been blocked by the construction of hydroelectric dams. New for you this morning, a hearing for the man accused of murdering 4 University of Idaho students has been pushed back a month. Brian Kohberger was expected back in court today, but KREM 2 learned the hearing was canceled because someone got sick. The hearing is considered Kohberger's motion to dismiss the grand jury indictment against him. His defense team claims there were numerous issues with the grand jury. The hearing is now scheduled for October 26th.
At 6:07, let's take a look at your morning rush. More news in less time. A Fred Meyer employee is now sitting in the Spokane County Jail this morning for allegedly attacking his coworkers. This all happened at the North Spokane Fred Meyer. According to the Spokane County Sheriff's Office, the employee got into a heated argument with his coworkers. The employee then grabbed a saw from one of the store shelves and swung it at them, cutting one of his coworkers. The victim is expected to be okay, but the employee now faces 2 charges for assault. The Washington State Department of Transportation did recover that truck that was stolen earlier this week. You might remember a WashDOT truck was stolen Tuesday morning. The man behind the wheel led state troopers on a chase across I-90. The truck was eventually stopped by using spike strips, but the truck then caught fire. WashDOT said in a social media post that the back of the truck is pretty much untouched, so it's not a complete loss. Well, get this, Washington has the 3rd most dangerous driving conditions in the U.S. That's according to a new report from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. 16% of deadly crashes happen when the weather is bad. Washington also has the highest rate of crashes during things like fog, smoke, or severe crosswinds. The only states with the worst conditions on the road are Alaska and West Virginia. And that's a look at your morning rush.
It's 6:08 right now on this Friday morning, where conditions are pretty normal for a mid to late September day here. Temperature is largely in the 40s, a few spots holding out in the 50s, which isn't too bad, especially when you can get some cloud cover during the overnight hours. The warm spot is Sandpoint at 54, or at least one of them, 55 in Omak, 57 in Grand Coulee, and 55 in Pomeroy to join you in the mid 50s. Otherwise, most of us likely in the 40s as of this morning. Now, we will see increasing cloud cover for the day, and we do have a small chance for maybe a light shower in the early afternoon hours in Spokane, but the rain chances are a little higher for North Idaho because we are watching this batch coming in from the east. So notice the storm motion east to west, and that'll start to push right along the I-90 corridor from the Silver Valley and closer to Coeur d'Alene. Whether it makes it all the way to Spokane, not 100% certain on that, but we still get one more chance for rain today before a pleasant weekend.